Okay, good morning, guys, or good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I hope everyone is well. So it is the 23rd of March, and I'm looking at, how you doing, Roger? The futures chart of the S&P 500. We've had a bit of news this morning, but nothing really dramatic. We've got some medium impact news at 2 p.m. UK time. So nothing really to worry about there, I don't think. So I hope everyone's okay. Hope everyone had a good day yesterday. It wasn't a bad day for me yesterday at all. I did have an issue. I did a little bit of trading yesterday evening. I did have a bit of an issue, but I'll explain that in a while. But apart from that, nothing too terrible. Getting a little bit of something. I'm just looking at this at the moment. We've had this push down and break new low, push up, break new high, push down, break. Hoping we're going to move down here. So I'm just looking at this at the moment, but I am aware the market opens in about 10 minutes. How you doing, Roger? Tech, good morning. DJ, how you doing, buddy? Richard, morning to you. What? How you doing? What? So all good at the moment. I had a bit of a frustrating, I'll explain in a bit. I did pop back and trade after the FOMC news, and I had a bit of an issue. I'll explain it after. It was some good news and bad news. So Scruffy, how you doing, mate? So let's get going, and I'll explain what happened yesterday. And I'm waiting to hear from Apex. So hopefully they'll sort this out. I had a problem with the trade copy again. So I'll explain that in a bit. So something else I was going to say. I had some more of the. Let me just lock that display. I had some more of the. Somebody used the Apex, my Apex code yesterday. So if anybody used that, it's much appreciated. I've never been brave enough to trade FOMC. I traded after, mate. I came back about an hour after. It worked out well. I had an issue with my PA accounts. One of them triggered and another one didn't. And I didn't notice. I'd moved some of my chart around yesterday. One of them traded and made about $500, and the other one, when I dropped my stop, the other one carried on going with a limit order, with a buy order, and I didn't notice, and it ended up blowing. So I messaged. It's part my fault, isn't it? I wasn't focusing what I'm going to do, but I'm still not used to the trade copy enough. I need to be aware of what's going on, but I moved some of these around because they were just in the way. What I basically did is I shut my chart down and got rid of them because I moved a few things away. So one blew, and the other one made about $500. So it's just so frustrating. So, but I had another one go live this morning, so I'm still on 2 PAs at the moment. And a couple of evaluations, but it's so frustrating sometimes. I've got to say that trade copy, you've really got to keep, if anybody uses that trade copy, you've really got to keep on top of it, because it can devastate you if you don't know what you're doing. Okay, so we've had a break, we've had a push up. I'm looking at this. Excuse me. I trade after MC. It was incredibly. It was, yeah. I just got a quick move down, but I'm not doing it again from now on, because it's been a bit of a pain. So from now on, and I'll advise anyone to do this: when you finish trading from your session, do not go back to your chart, because I found that when I blow accounts, I would say 95% of the ones I blow, happened to me as well. Yeah, 95% the ones I blow are when I come back and trade later. And I got to say, it's a horrible feeling. It really is. It just, do you know what? I think it's part down to greed. You might have had a good day or something and you want to come back and do some more, but it's just such a bad no-no. I don't know why things happen differently, but it does. Yeah, DJ, I'm to you as well. Yeah, coming back and trading after your daily session, I think, is a big no-no. Certainly for me, anyway. It's when things really go wrong. But I'm waiting to hear for Apex about it. It's technically my fault, but the trouble is the issue I have with Apex is they don't explain that in the videos. They explain so much, but they don't tell you a few things. They keep from, whether they keep from you on purpose or not, I don't know, but they need to be clearer, because so many people I've been told that just are blown accounts with that trade copy. So you've got to be very careful. Now, I had a problem for it about 3 months ago when I first started using it. And I spoke to a lady called Marion, so I just messaged her again last night. And I've just had a message from another guy saying we can't sort it out, blah, 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 which is frustrating. So I said I was told to contact Marion, so I've asked him to pass it on to Marion because she sorted the problem out last time. He said they can't reset PA accounts, which is wrong. They can. They did it once before when there was a problem. With it, so we'll see. Lead and loser, how you doing, mates? Arminas, how are you? So yeah, I'll tell you what, this business of trading is so frustrating. I had a buddy message me this morning. He's just blown another PA account. I won't tell you who it is because obviously he sent me confidence, but you can just hear in people's voices, you know, and in their messages how tough it is and how hard people find it. I'm just looking at this. This is a higher low. I'm just wondering, one leg up, two legs up. I think there's probably going to be some shorts trap there, but we are getting very close to the market, so I've got to be careful. Marion is the best Apex. Yeah, well, I sent it to this other addressed to Marion, or with the attention of Marion, and some guy called Peter messaged me, and I went, look, I messaged it. I sent it to Marion. Can you please forward it? So hopefully, is it a he or is it a she? I think it's a she, isn't it? I'm sure it's a she. I know it's a female name, but I know some people in Europe, it's a male, a guy's name in Europe. I'm just looking at this as a high low. It's probably a bit too early yet, but I did wonder after you've had this break whether there might be some short strap there which have been stopped, but it's not pushed up. So I'm just going to leave it alone at the moment. It's a she, yeah, I thought it was. Excuse me. Yeah, this guy messaged me back and said that he can't sort it out, which is frustrating. I think they need to start being a little bit clearer with this trade copy, because it isn't without its problems. Yeah, I gotta say, I've been frustrated lately. I have with trading. 1 minute things seem to go okay, next minute things seem to feel a bit tough. I was frustrated that I came back last night and traded some more. I sort of knew I shouldn't really, but you know, when you get that sort of that desire to sort of want to go and make some more money. Yeah, my advice is when you finish, copiers are sometimes tricky. Agreed, therefore I have set individual auto-liquidating thresholds on our trader. Yeah, I think I need to look into something like that. What frustrates me is they don't tell you that. They say watch the videos, but they skip out important parts, and that's the bit that frustrates me. Yeah, that's sort of... I did look at that. We seem to be having these measured legs. In fact, that's probably more like that now. Yeah. We seem to be having these legs. One leg, two leg, one leg. This looks like the same. But it was a bit too close to the... news. It's slightly risky as well, I would say. Being all around the middle, so as tempted as I was to put an order above this where I thought there might be some traders trapped. It made a few points anyway, so trouble is it's easy when after the fact, isn't it? Indeed. I noticed I seem to have issues with the copier. I leave everything running overnight. Now I've restarted every morning. Yeah, it's frustrating sometimes, I gotta say, and especially for, I mean, it's obviously pointed at new people, isn't it? So I just don't think they're clear enough when they sell at you. They don't support it, which it frustrates the hell out of me. That does. I wish, in one sense, that I'd gone with the Replicanto. They were okay last time when I spoke to Marion. She was good. She sorted the problem out. But I don't know. I've heard from a guy called Peter, and so it's probably not his fault. But I've asked him to resend it to Marion, or forward it to Marion. And the trouble is, when things go wrong, that tends to affect your trading as well. That can send you on a downward spiral, just out of pure frustration. The last thing you want is issues that frustrate the hell out of you. Okay. Just wondering how to do this. Okay, market has officially opened. So, this looks like one leg, two legs. Actually, when I saw that, what I should have said is I should have marked that a bit earlier. It may have encouraged me to get in a. I was tempted to put an order one tick above there because we got this short-term trend channel break, and I was expecting a new low. But if I tighten that, it actually has broken slightly. So I thought there may be some short strap there, and that triggered and then pushed up quite strongly. So yeah, I don't know if there's a direct email address to this Marion. Maybe she can sort it out. But it is frustrating when one triggers and another doesn't. It's so frustrating. Or what happened is, as I brought my stop down and cut it out, what I didn't realise it created a buy order on one of them, and it just went against me, and I didn't notice. I wasn't focusing. I had people in the room with me, and I wasn't focusing what I was doing. Okay, now I've drawn this as a range, but it's only really hit once. So if we do get a second entry off here, I'll be interested in taking that to the top of this measured leg. I think it's gonna. Yeah, I think you might be right, mate. I'll see what happens if they don't get back to me. If Marion doesn't get back to me, I'm gonna ditch trade the Apex trade copper and go back to and move on to. Yeah, I kind of like the idea of a second leg, one leg, two legs. I mean, you could say this is a range, and it's sort of ranging, but it's only really topped the top of this. So if we can get one leg, two leg, I'll be interested in going along a bit higher there. Trouble is, typically it's probably not going to give us an opportunity. But it is getting a little bit sideways anyway, so not interested. If we got two legs down to here, then I'd be interested. Even if we maybe get a second leg down to here and drop out the bottom. There's our new high at the moment. It's higher than that one, so see if we can get something. Yeah, I'm going to look into Replicanto actually. I don't believe. that they don't support, Apex don't support it, which I think is wrong. If they sell you a piece of software, it needs to be supported, it needs to be updated, it needs to be it needs to have some sort of information with it. I mean, what sort of instructions do you get with it? Not a lot. You get a couple of videos, but they miss out vital points. Now, whether they do it on purpose or not, I don't know, but it would be unfair of me to say. But one leg, two leg, it'd be unfair of me to say. But it is frustrating as hell sometimes, I've got to say. One leg, two legs. So to about here. Yeah, it's very frustrating. And this to me looks like one leg, two legs. Trouble is, if it's a range, it's tried to go high once, try to go twice, so it could fail and come crashing down. So, and at the moment, it's only a first entry. Been caught going along so many times doing this, I've got to say. See, there is a second entry along there, which is triggered and stopped out, but I doubt anybody would have gone along there. It's just floating in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, it's only a first entry, that. So I think it's risky. It may tick up and come crashing down. I do think that it may reach this, but if we can get a higher low, then that may interest me. We'll see. Got to be careful of the trap as well. So if you're going short, that'd be your first entry. What I don't want to do is get a long failure and get trapped. Hey Sam, how you doing, mate? It does look like two legs. The trouble is when it's sideways, you just don't know. I get trapped, trapped so many times in areas like this. So let's see if there's people looking to go short. So we've got a new high. Try to go once, try to go twice, failed. There may be some shorts in this, but let's say this is a new high. Try to go once. Let's see if there's a long failure, which might trap a few people. And I don't want to be a trappy. That's a word. But I think if it does push up, if it managed to get above here, then I think if there is any shorts picking the top there, then it might give it then a little bit of a push up to this measured leg. Okay, so first entry. So try to go once, try to go twice. Okay, so there's a high, there's a high. as a push. This is technically a failure. So if this goes down and ends up bullish, I might put my order above there.
Order submitted.
That will be a higher low. So we got this new high there. Try to go once. That actually broke higher than that. Possible failure if you're going short. So if this triggers below. Okay, so if now that pushes up, so try to go once, try to go twice, that's a failure. If this pushes above here, then I would say I'll use that then as a higher low. That's unless it comes down and stops these out. New high, try to go once, try to go twice, failed, triggered. So what I'm going to do is put my order one tick above there, because there could be some shorts in there, no doubt. Try to go once, try to go twice. Now, if it doesn't push up and hit that, I haven't lost anything, but if it does, it'll take out some stops, and that then will take us a bit higher, and hopefully it might come careening down. If it drops below here, hopefully then it might take us a bit higher. Let's see if it drops below here and I'll cancel it. Okay, it has.
Order cancelled.
It's probably coming down. Yeah, I've given the opportunity for any shorts to get in that. So we got this new high. Try to go high once, try to go twice, failed, triggered. So anybody going short is in that. Plus them more likely going to be some longs trapped, which is pushing some more. So I put my order above there. If it does come up and trigger, it'll have taken out those shorts, and then I think we'd have probably pushed up. But just an indication of what price is doing. Yeah, you should add the NY open price. Oh, I usually do, mate, to be fair. That's it, isn't it? There. So it'll be there, won't it? About right? Yeah. Okay, let's make that a bit thicker. Okay. I don't know, perhaps we are still trying to push higher. Who knows? Looks like a couple of legs. Let me have a look at that. Yeah, that's a couple of legs back there. One leg, two legs. So if we can get a higher low, obviously I haven't had much momentum, so if we can get a higher low, I'll be interested to take it up to the top there then. Okay, there's a new low. Don't know if it's going to give us, is it? There'll be some shorts in there, I dare say. Not that many, but I don't think it's going to give us a chance. I think it's going to go straight up. There we go. Okay, that's frustrating. I could see what was happening. We'd had two perfect measured legs down, bullish bar, but it was an inside bar. We hadn't had a lot of momentum down there, so I thought then we're going to make a new high. So frustratingly, 2, 4, 6, 8, made the best part of 10 points straight up. My order was at throw, was it? It is frustrating. I could see what was happening after this. I mean, there was an attempt to go higher there, which pushed and triggered. Another attempt to go higher, which pushed and triggered. And then a short, which came down. I don't know, maybe some would have taken their points out there. What happened? We stopped here, started pushing back up. I thought if we can get a higher low, we're going to go back up to there. But sometimes, you know, the more experienced traders can see what's going on and they just jump in around here. And as soon as I think we had this bar, off it went like a catapult, off straight up. So that's frustrating. So, okay, that is almost played out, that measured move. It is frustrating, but it's nice that you can see it. It's nice that you can see what's going on. Let's take that down a touch to make sure we get it right. Okay. Yeah, I could see what was going on, but unfortunately, by the time I got the chance to do anything, not that there was a setup there anyway. Yeah, I still come back. Yeah, I mean, it's played out really to the nearest tick, isn't it? I don't think no one's going to push it a bit higher, are they? So I'd say it's likely now to come back to the EMA. That's a lower high. Tempted to ride it back to the EMA.
Order submitted.
Maybe not. Okay, that's it. There you go. Bum bum. Second entry short. Wow, that triggered quick. Second entry short. Let's see if we can get a lower high. I mean, that's played out to the tick. Just wondering whether we may get another 2 legs up. Who knows?
Order cancelled.
Let me just have a look. Is there a bigger pattern here I'm missing? Oh, I like that. Oh, now you're talking. Now you're talking my language. Let me just remove this for a minute. Touched, touched, touch. Beautifully 3 points. Now this to me is a trend channel. As far as I'm concerned, I'm happy with that. It's pushed right up to there, so I'm not thinking about going short at the moment. Remove. Now, what did we do yesterday? We had quite a lot of downward movement yesterday, didn't we? Move up the day before, so we may get some upward movement. So, okay, I'm not thinking about going short at the moment. So, started here. Touched beautifully here, beautifully there. No arguments there. So that's confirmed 3 times. It's touched a bunch of times. I could do with it coming back up, but this to me looks like a larger trend channel. So I'm not looking for shorts at the moment. So we've had 1 leg up. Just wondering whether this might be 1, 2. Let's have a look. I guess in this area somewhere, if it does what I think it's going to do. Break, new high, down, break. See if we can get a new low. If we can bounce here or a high low up here, then I'll be interested. And it's bounced right on that midline. Just have a look, see if we got anything from Mac yet. No, not yet. Okay, short-term trend channel break. Ideally want a new low here before I think about going long. Just wondering whether it's going to give us the chance. Come on. Yeah, that's the frustrating thing, isn't it? Doesn't give you the chance. One leg. Two leg. There's probably going to be two shorter legs in that as well. Let's have a look. One leg. Two legs. I'd say here or here is our target. See if we can just get another quick pullback. Come on. Come on. Come on. One leg, two leg. That would take us to there. Or one leg, two leg there. So I'd say up here is probably our area. Just get a buy order ready,
submitted.
just in case. I am aware that hasn't played out yet, so I'd prefer that to come below here. That is a second entry short, but I'm nervous about it. There's not much room to the highs, and we haven't played a low. We haven't made a new low after this now. We might not, but I will be a bit nervous there. That comes down and stops that out and breaks a new low, then I'll be interested in going long. But this is just looking a little bit congested. It might go up. Sometimes momentum just takes over. Three and a quarter points. So you've got a new high there. Try to go once, try to go twice. If it can break above here, then I think it may carry on. But try to go once, try to go twice. So possible long failure. Yeah, you've got to be careful here. There's going to be traps. If you took that short to make a new low, it triggered. I'd say it's probably going to come down and stop this out, I would say. There'll be some traps there. If we get above here, I think it'd be okay then. Okay, we ticked above that. So I would say it's not likely going to come back now. So, new high, try to go once, try to go twice, failure, long failure, which is triggered. So maybe we can get a failure off here.
Order cancelled. Order submitted.
Yeah, it's getting a bit congested there, so we've got to be careful. So we got a failed second entry short, new high, a failed second entry long. So if you'd have took the lower high there, it'd be in this trade. If you took the, you could say that is a failure to come and make a new low after this. You triggered and stopped out. So there's already been one trap there. So you're still in this trade at the moment. See if this comes down and stops you out. And also there's a failure which is triggered. So got to be really careful here. Some traps. Seems to be happening more and more, this does. See, that failure's triggered as well. So if you took the failure, it's triggered. You've got to be so careful here.
Order cancelled.
Okay, if that comes below here, then I would say we're likely then to make a new low from here. If that comes down there, so that is a second entry long, but it's right stuck in the middle of that congestion, so it's just a big no-no that. If this does come down, if it breaks below here, that'll take out the lower highs, and then I'd say then we may get a new, we'll more likely get a new low. But it's got to come below here. Oh, not yet. One more tick. Okay, I'd say we're likely now going to come and make a new low. And it's a second entry. See what happens there. Second entry long. It's taking out any shorts and any longs there. If you went short there, you got taken out. If you went long there, you got taken out. If you took the failure, it triggered and took you out. So there's been about 3 traps there, I can see. So I'd say this finishes bullish, which it doesn't look like it's gonna. It's definitely a danger area, I've got to say this. I would feel much safer if it broke below this line. Let me just have a bigger look at this. Yeah, I'd say it's almost going higher, but it just wants to take out anything. I mean, it's gone below here. I'd say this might be the route. I'm not sure. There, 2 o'clock. Yeah, it doesn't usually have a massive impact, that. But, we'll see. Might be why it's going a little bit stagnant, actually. And there we go. One of these two, I'd say. Either one, I don't mind. Okay, that news just happened anyway, so whether that was anything to do with it, I don't know. I don't think it was. I think it was destined to go up anyway, just after all this. Sometimes we'll go sideways and like I say, someone mentioned shake out any longs, early longs, and then up we go. So I'd say we're definitely going to get to the top of this, in my opinion anyway. You got a runner, have you? Where did you get in? It wasn't really. Well, if you wanted to be a little bit risky, you could have took a second entry short off here somewhere. But I'm trying to behave myself. It's tempted as I get sometimes, because a lot of the times we know where it's going. There's just no entry. So sometimes, I don't know, at some point in your trading career, when you get more skilled, you just jump in and take something a little bit risky for something you pretty much know what's going on. I don't know, maybe. I know Mac bends the rules sometimes. Sometimes it's a third entry or a fourth entry. So, you know, he flexes the rules. But I think that adapting slightly of the rules comes with experience, I think. I know we've got to follow the rules, but, you know, the rules are based on new traders. I mean, if you've been trading 7 or 8 years as an experienced trader, I suppose you're going to know that sometimes rules can be broken or let's say flexed sometimes because they pretty much know where we're going. I mean, you know, this is sort of gambling with an edge, really, isn't it? It's a risk, but it's a risk that we have a certain amount of skills that we can apply to that risk and turn the trade in our favour, or turn the gamble in our favour, whichever way you know what to call it. But yeah, there's always risk. You never eliminate risk. But it depends how risk averse you are. I know the gorilla guy, he's a lot more risk. He'd have probably dropped an order in around about here and had maybe a point and a half risk, because he'd be pretty sure after this, just by looking at it, what it's doing. You know, we could have certainly, if you were a betting man, you know, you'd have probably got that was going up, and you may see this drop below here, and you may jump in here, and I don't know. It depends on you. I suppose we learn from Mac, don't we? But then when we get more experienced and we've been doing it for a fair few years, then maybe you adapt. Yeah, but that's the trouble there. See, if you had a short-term trend chart, if you had a break, you expected a new low, you might have shorted there, which triggered and stopped you out. And then if you think we're going high, you took the higher low after this, which triggered and then stopped you out. And you may have took the long failure, which triggered and eventually stopped you out, or you may have took the failure this way, which triggered and stopped you out. So there was a whacking load of traps in there, and that's what you've got to be so careful of. But once you learn to identify them, you just got to, you know, look at them and work out what's going on, and then hopefully you'll stay on the right side of them. Let's see if there's something else going on. No. Okay, so we've got a new low here. First entry. Okay, that to me is like a hidden second entry long, which I kind of like. But don't copy me if I take these.
Order
because it might go
submitted.
tits up. Just like the way it's bounced off the midline. It's a small risk, and I think it's worth it.
Order filled.
It's a hidden second entry short. We are going up. I like the way it's bounced off the midline. It might work, it might not. But it's a 1.75 risk, which I think is worth it. Everything's working like it should. Come on, up you get.
Order filled.
I meant to come back a little bit. What did I get out of that? Okay, 1.5. I think it's still going to come up here personally. Yeah, for me, that was a hidden second entry long. Now, it was risky because it was below the EMA, but it was a small risk. What did I risk there? I'd say this is going to come up. I wish now I'd have brought my stop back a little bit there, because I just like the way that it's bounced off here. So it's almost certainly, in my opinion, coming up here. I wish I'd have just held back a little bit there. That's what I mean. Sometimes if you can work out what's going on, I see Mac taking these below the EMA all the time. Let's have a look. What did I get out of it? 4. I got a 1.5. So it wasn't a lot of risk. Let's have a look. It was there, wasn't it? So there. Yeah, that's what I thought. It was 1.75 risk. So it was nearly 1-to-1. It was a risky trade, but just with what's happening, it's bouncing off this line. And I still think we're going to... there's 2 measured legs I got my eyes on here. Just wonder if there's going to be shorts trapped there. We're going up. See this? There's a new low there. This is a higher low. Let's see how this finishes.
Order submitted.
I'm going to do this as an engulfing. Come back down. Come on. This is a big risk. I don't fancy that.
Order cancelled.
If it breaks above it.
Order
See if I can
submitted.
get on the limit order. It's a bit too big, that is. It triggers above that one, because I'd say it just looks to me like there's going to be some shorts there, and I think it's going to push up after that. So let me just see if I can get an on limit order if that breaks above it. I think it's going to do it and do it quick, I think. Come on, break above it. It's quite a big bar, isn't it? What is it? 6, 3.5 points. No, that's a 4 points with a tick above it, tick below it. See, for me, this is clearly bouncing off this midline. chicken. Yeah. Okay, that has broken above it now, so I'm going to put a limit order, see if it'll come back a bit. Yeah, it's a hidden second entry long, and yeah, it is a bit risky because it's below there. But I see Mac take those all the time. Come back for me, come on. Come back. Come on, especially when it gets above here. I'm not risking any more than that. But I'd say it's there or there. And it's not going to give us the chance, I don't think. Come on. Come back now, come on. Come back for the failure. In fact, I'll bring it back down here a bit. This is where we're going, or there. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Bollocks. Oh well.
Order cancelled.
Shit happens. You could just see there was going to be some short strap there. If I'd have put it there, what would I have got out of that? I'd have come out around about. I'd have shipped myself around about here. Okay, well, you know, it happens, doesn't it? It is a bit more risky, but if you can see what's going on, to me that was a hidden second entry long, but it was a bit below the EMA. But it happens sometimes. And I see Mac taking them, so if I'd have sat on that, oh, look at that. That's frustrating, isn't it? Okay, let's comfortably hit that. We had one here, but we had a bigger one here. I put my limit order in, but it didn't come back for me, unfortunately. We got one leg, two legs, and that's come right up to there. I did put that shorter leg in, so that was my first target. There was my second one, but I sort of knew once it got so high, it would rocket up. It always bloody does. So let's see where it finishes here. And but it just goes to show you, the more you get used to trading these, the more you start to notice what's going on. I could see what was happening there, especially the way it was going up and the way it was offering out some shorts. Last stop, let's try and yeah. Well, it's funny how those are both closed now, be below there, so let's get rid of that one. But you can see what's going on, but the way it came down and then pushed back up, and the way it came down and pushed back up again, I'm thinking there's going to be some shorts there which trapped, and I thought when it gets above there, it's going to make a move, and look, it went above there, came back and went straight up. Yeah, it's 5 points straight up like that. So if you'd have been in there, to be honest with you, it's a higher low, but it's a little bit congested, which is why I didn't really fancy risking that much. 3.5 points, so a tick above, tick below 4 points. Because that one was a little risky. I don't like to get too stupid and too risky, but look at that. It's gone right up there, pushed above, broke below, pushed above, broke below, straight on that measured leg. So it just goes to show how important these measured legs are and how they really work. Look at that. In fact, that is probably slightly higher. So have a look. Yeah. Yeah, look at that. It's gone right up nice to there, isn't it? And right up close to the top of this as well, which is confirming that. And if you look at this, bounce, 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 it's running right along the top of that, right, sitting nicely on the top of that midline. So when we had that high low, I thought there wasn't a massive amount to go there, which made me a bit nervous, but there was those two measured legs which I was looking at. So once you start getting used to reading these a little bit, you can sort of work out what's going on. And I wish I'd have held on a bit there. That's just down to a lack of experience and confidence, that is, but that'll come in time. You'll get used to hidden second entry long. What did I get on that? It wasn't a massive amount, was it? 0.5. Oh well. But it was a little bit risky, but it was a nice small bar, which is why I took it. And it was only 1.75 risk total, which is pretty low, to be honest with you. It's half of what I would normally expect. The ATR is quite nice and low, so everything is as it's supposed to be. I'm $130 away from no, 230. no, $130 away from 2,600 on my 1PA account. So that's good. So maybe able to get a payment the next couple of weeks. Hopefully, we'll see. Plus. Okay. I wish I'd have taken that now. Because with the EMA facing up, bounced straight off this. I wish I'd have taken it. It was just a bit... after that one, sometimes they are a little bit more risky. I thought I'd push my luck sometimes. I just had it pop into my head it's that day where I had that $2,300 loss on my PA account, and I started trading a little bit too confident. And after I took that one, that little thought popped into my head, and I thought, hold back. If you're going to risk it, do it down here somewhere. So it just goes to show sometimes those little memories. It's going right to the top here. Now, I saw Marco take a trade the other week, and he took a short right up here. Anybody see that? It went right to the top, and he took a short. Because his theory was, and rightly so, after this is going to be surely a lack of buyers up here, isn't there? But Marco only does trade 6 ticks. So 6 ticks is not a big move, but I tend to go for 3 points. So let's see, just out of interest, if that does come down. See if that comes down to the EMA, because surely there's going to be, you would think, after this measured move played out, we've come right to the top. There would be lack of buyers there. The buyers would want to wait for it to come down before they push it back up, surely. I mean, that's common sense, isn't it? See if you'd have taken that. What would you have got? Just back to the EMA, maybe a couple of points. Yeah, if you'd have taken, say, 2.5 points, see if it does come down. That one there. Yeah, I mean, it's always a little bit more risky above here, but I often see Mac marking trades under the EMA, and I remember somebody asked him a question, can you take them under the EMA? And he said if the context is okay, then yeah. And for me, you could see it, one push down, pull back, one push down. For me, that was 2 nice little pushes down, hidden second entry long. What helped it was the small risk. It was a 0.75 risk, and it's bounced off this, so I thought it was worth a go, but when it came back a bit, I lost my balls a little bit. But I got $150 out of it. That's okay, isn't it? Better than a kick in the teeth. So it just goes to show, when you get a little bit more experience and used to spending time at a chart, you get noticed these things. And then that was the higher low, but I thought I'd push my luck with that one a bit, but that turned out to be a nice move, that did. Excuse me a second. Excuse me a second. Sorry about that. Okay, possible second entry long, but we're right to the top of here, so We have got bullish momentum, haven't we? I'm going to say if that doesn't get any bigger than 5 or 6 ticks, I'd have taken that if it went longer. We're quite high in this channel, so I'll feel more comfortable about coming back down here a little bit first. Okay, so that measured moves played out. I probably should leave those actually, because when I post my charts later, people sometimes work out look at your workings out. Put it there, did we? No, sorry, get rid of it. Yes, trader. I think it's heading to 4025. Is there anything up there? Is there from previous? There's a little bit of a resistance there, isn't there? If there's anything further back, is there? Oh, there is some resistance. Yeah, there's definitely some resistance around here. Bounced, bounced, bounced. Support, support, or resistance, resistance, support. Yeah, I suppose if it carries on in this, the next stop possibly going to be there, isn't it? So you may be right. Okay, so a little overshoot. Too high, trying to go one stroke or twice, possible failure, which is triggered. Just wondering, would anybody be short in there? I would doubt it because everything's moving up. I think we'll go down to. Well, if your predictions are right, who was it the other day that said it was coming right up here, and miles away, and it did. Forget what it was. It Osama or was it leading loser? I can't remember now. Said it was pushing right up here, and I went, "Are you sure?" And it did. He got it right. Yeah, so there's a failure there, short failure. I can't see many people taking short there when this is bouncing up, everything's facing up. But it has triggered. I'm just glad that it's always nice to see that there is a short or a long failure which is triggered, especially if you're going in the opposite direction, because it's just another way of you getting trapped, showing that you don't get trapped. Because if you're looking for a higher low, which is going above there, if there is any shorts in there taking the failure, you're going to stop them out anyway. So it's always nice to go against these, if that makes any sense. I sort of know what I mean in my own head. Yeah, I'm not thinking about short, but there may be some, I don't know. Some people, I believe, try to pick tops, don't they? Maybe every time they get there, they might go down, waste a bit of money, waste a bit of money, waste a bit of money. Sooner or later it tanks. See if we can get a higher low off here. See, there's a big bullish bar there, which is triggered, but I think if it was going to move, it would do it by now. I think it might try and come back a little bit more first. Yeah, you don't take shorts up here. No, absolutely not. I mean, all you got to do you know, I think sometimes that's why, hey Nick, how you doing, mate? Used to be a top picker, yeah. I think sometimes that's why the panda guy gets himself in trouble, because he doesn't zoom out. I mean, look at that picture. What's that picture telling you? It's moving up. We had a strong push over here, and everything's been moving in the top of here, and it's just pushing up. Every time it's coming down, it's pushing up. But sometimes I see the panda guy, and he's right in the middle of this, and he's got a trend going here, a trend going there, and I think he confuses himself sometimes, and he's confused with the picture. Although I'm zoomed in, I'm still very aware of what's going on. I think sometimes he zooms in, and he's got trends going this way, trends going that way, and it's a little bit confusing. The good old days. Yeah, many times I pick these. I mean, do you remember what I just said a minute ago? I said, if you saw that, did anybody see that? You probably saw it, Nick, didn't you? That video that Marco put on of his trade. He doesn't often record his trades, but if you remember, he picked the top, didn't he? He picked the top because his theory was, we're right up the top here. Who the hell's going to buy up here? And look what happened. Remember, I said, if you took that short, what would you have got? And look what happened. It's come right the way down. So common sense, I mean, if you look at this, we're clearly in this trend. Common sense would say, after seeing this, and it's clearly in this, why would you want to be buying up here? You'd maybe want a bit bigger picture, or you'd be a bit risky, or maybe you know something most of us don't. But this, to me, would not be a place to buy. And funnily enough, look what happened. Even though we're in a strong uptrend, it came back 6 points. So, yeah, I saw Marco take a trade. He took a short here, second entry short, right from the very top of a channel going up. And I thought, strange, but it makes perfect sense when you think about it. And not only that, he one leg, two leg. Yeah, I thought I was going to do that. One leg, two leg. It makes perfect sense when you think about it. And he's only trading 6 ticks. So, one leg, two leg, thereabouts. Okay, so we're coming to this top again. I'll get rid of that now. So it makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Why would you buy here? I mean, obviously, this is not the only time frame that's happening. There's people trading all sorts of different time frames, but possible hidden second entry short, but same again, picking tops. It's not the worst place to short, but I've just given up those because, no, my luck, it'll trick above, come right to here, and then come back down. So I've just given them up. Me and Nick have given them up. I think the thing is with trading is you're so eager to succeed and make money that you look for any tiny little opportunity. And there are lots of opportunities, but most of them aren't ever any good. So you've just really got to wait for those golden ones that literally jump out and wave in front of you. That was a slightly more risky trade, but to me, I had no doubt what it was doing. One leg, two legs. It was a hidden second entry long, right off the key entry point. Well, tell a lie, right off the midline. It was below it, but I do see Mac taking them. But what I think sealed it for me, it was only 1.75 risk, which in a lot of cases, that's about half of what, I mean, look at the bars either side of it, you know, so I think that was okay. So one leg, two leg. See what I mean? If you'd have shorted there or shorted there right at the top, not that I'll do it because I usually go for it's still a risky to do, but that clearly is a hidden second entry short. One leg, two leg, back to the EMA. I mean, you generally ride these to the EMA if you know what you're doing. It's almost good to be true. Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. Yeah, you sort of question yourself. You have another look at it and think, is that right? You know, but yeah. See what I mean, though? Right at the top of this channel, if you'd have took a couple of points off here, we'd sort of gone up. We'd made a break and we'd gone up again, trying to go higher again. But even if you'd take it took a short here just for a point or two. One leg, a little bit of sideways, two legs, clearly two legs up, hidden second entry short, back to the EMA. I suppose in time, when you get more experience to do this and you've got a nice big fat bank balance, then you can maybe sort of have a go at some of those. You know, but I know Mark already trades 6 ticks, so you'll get away with it a lot easier with 6 ticks than the 3 or 4 I like to go to. But those comfortably made it. In fact, probably made about 4 points, that one, hasn't it? Yeah. And that one more. So, because when you think about it, if you look at this, you're thinking, okay, where's the best time to buy? Well, here or here. Where's the best time to sell? Well, best time would be there. Here, maybe in here, but the best time's up here when it's right there. But so what happens there? People don't buy. You only get short. So what happens? Straight back. Straight back. But it doesn't always work. It might tick below and stop you out. But that's only 1.75 points. So it's quite a small risk. What's that? That's 2.5 points. So the risks aren't too bad at the moment. But you know, if you've got $50,000 in a bank account and you want to go at that, that's your choice, isn't it? But it wouldn't be the worst place in the world to short. You know. Okay, let's have a look there. There's a first entry. So short and trend on break new low. I prefer a higher low because I'm a good boy today. Okay, short and trend channel break, new low. I prefer to get. I kind of like the way everything was down here. We got the midline and the EMA, but it may be topping out a little bit. It didn't go much higher there, so I don't know. Maybe we'll come into here, or maybe back to here. Who knows? Yeah, that's the trouble sometimes, and it is weird, isn't it? I was watching the market yesterday after the news, and it kept going, and then we had a little bit pull back, and I thought it can't keep going, and it went down about another 20 points. It's uncanny, isn't it? Really, when you think it can't go any lower, don't know. I'll surprise you. Okay, short-term trend channel break, new low. Yeah, I didn't like the fact that it was up here, and I would prefer to get back to this middle line. So let's see if this is 2 legs. 1 leg. 2 leg. Midline, I'd like to bounce here and then push up and get us a higher low, but avoid the possible long failure. That's a second entry long. But as we've had this big push down, I'm leaving this alone just in case, because we haven't gone a great deal higher there, so we may be running out of steam temporarily. We may come down a bit lower or to here, or but you get those feelings, don't you, when something doesn't quite feel right. I prefer. Okay, let's see if this worked. I don't like it. There's something I don't like about it. Yeah, these shorts aren't finished yet, are they? I prefer to play this measured leg out first before I think about getting back in a long. 3 mini MACD cross short. Yeah, we don't use MACD. In this, we use very little indicators, to be honest with you. I don't like trading currency. I had lines and lines of them underneath. But no, we don't use MACD. We don't use any. I used to use the MACD, movement convergence divergence, about 3 different moving averages, 9, 13 and 21. The RSI, all sorts of stuff. But the thing I like attracted me to this is very little. The only real indicator we use is the 21-day moving average. The rest is just lines and boxes and channels and that. I would prefer to hit here. It's definitely slowing. It's bouncing off here a little bit, so I would think this might be the... well, it's been the best part so far, isn't it, to bounce off? We've used that nicely. And if we can get down to here, that'll be a measured leg, then I think then I'd be then looking to buy maybe with a higher low or something. But I prefer to get down to here. It was a triple test, what was? You're on about the top? Or here? You're on about here, are you? I don't think triple tests count if they're next to each other. I think they've got to be in different places. So it's trying to go lower once, trying to go lower twice, trying to go lower 3 times, and off it goes. I don't think they count, although I wouldn't swear to it. But it has bounced off there. Nice, isn't it? Both times. See, if you think these are random, these trend channels don't work. Look at that. Look what it's doing right off that midline. And if we're looking at that, so are every other trader out there. So what are they? It's trying to get into them. So there's a trying to go once, trying to go twice. There's a oh no, it's not a failure, is it? Yeah, it's definitely stalling here. But it's not attracting buyers just yet, is it? We want a higher low really, but it's not attracting buyers because buyers are thinking, okay, are we finished? We had a triple test at the 4018, 401. Oh, up here. Yeah, you could call that. To be honest with you, I don't really trade them because I'm not very experienced with them, and I tend to try and avoid picking tops and bottoms. So I've tended to stay away from them really. Okay, try to go once, try to go twice. Possible long failure. Now let's see if anyone decides to go short here. I'll be shocked if someone doesn't. Let's see if that triggers below. I prefer it to trigger below and bounce off this second leg. And then we might start making some upward headway. Yeah. Touch. Okay, a little bit of a 2 legs. Actually, I'm going to get rid of that. That looks better to me. I like the way that sat right there. Okay, so we got 1 leg down, up to the top, 1 leg down, 2 legs down. I like the way that's sitting nice on there. Now it's probably going to dramatically have a quick drop out the bottom and then hopefully push back up. I used to have a little 1-point order for these. A lot of the time where it used to store like that in exactly the same place, I used to put a little order under here with just a quick 1-point profit. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perhaps that's the one. Yeah, it's still working off that midline, isn't it? I'm just wondering whether it's running out of steam a little bit or it's slowly working its way back to here before it pushes up a bit more. See, this is an area where that gorilla guy would have dropped in a long order and put his stop maybe down here. Risked a couple of points, a point and a half, something like that, hoping we were going to do this. We're in a 60-minute gap. Yeah, I forget Max says about a lot of these ranges that, or corrections, they go on for a period of time, don't they? Something discouraging me from going in is that the EMA hasn't been tested on this reversal. We take highs, my long is never valid. Yeah, where have you gone? Long up here somewhere, have you? Yeah, see, some people do that, don't we? They set an order for a certain place. We just sort of wait for a setup and... But I tend to... I forget that sometimes a lot of other guys on streams might not necessarily trade this. You tend to think everyone trades the same strategy. And I know, someone mentioned the MACD, and I know on this strategy we don't use anything like that. So I tend to forget that sometimes... excuse me. There may be other people watching the stream that trade with different strategies. So, yeah, I forget that sometimes. We should have held on now. Limit order of 4005. Sitting waiting. 4005. Oh, you come down here. You're hoping to break out of here, are you? So it's gonna have to come down 4.5 points, isn't it? 4.5 points. Still using that that midline, isn't it? It's quite a nice trend, actually, isn't it? Things are moving quite smooth, actually. There was that trade. I think the safer one would have been what I liked about it. It was probably half the risk of that, but I think the safer option would be the higher low. But I think because I knew that was a little bit more risky, I didn't want to push my luck. But sometimes you've just got to, if they're there, you've just got to take them, haven't you? Because you spend so long. The fact that it came down a couple of ticks wasn't really an issue, but it did always get a little bit congested, just a touch, which doesn't always mean a lot. It's a bit congested there, but then things still move. But you get those doubts in the back of your mind, and those are the ones I try to listen to now. And fingers crossed. 5 cups of coffee in front of Leader Losers with 15 monitors. How many monitors you got, Leader Losers? I used to have 4. I punched one. I've got 3 now. So I figure I can punch 2 more before I'm really in trouble. Fortunately, monitors are about the cheapest part, aren't they? I think these are about £120, I think. So punch bag in the corner. It would be better off, yeah. In fact, I've got some weights. I used to do some weights years ago, so I've got some weights in my in my brother's garage. So I did ask my sister-in-law if they were still there. So I'm going to go pick them up. I think I need to see. I usually have hobbies. I did karate for 17 years, so I always had something to do. But since I started trading, I've stopped doing everything. I used to go fishing, a little bit of fly fishing. Used to do some running and used to go out walking. But since I started trading, I do nothing. But the plan is to start back at the gym again. The beauty about trading in the UK is markets generally, it's 1:30 UK time at the moment because you guys have gone forward now, but normally it's 2:30 in the afternoon, so I've got enough time to go to the gym. So that's the plan, to start going to the gym and doing a bit of a workout, because I do find I need to sort of let off a bit of steam. It can be quite stressful trading. And even sort of 2.5, 3 hours a day can take it out of you. So I need a little bit of R&R really, to get rid of some of this frustration. Only two, one of which, yeah, I started on a laptop actually. I started on a Mac, but obviously you can't use NinjaTrader with a Mac, so I had to install a copy of Windows in it. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so I'm guessing the way that's pushed up out there, you've hit this and you've hit very similar, so people are thinking this is topping out. And obviously as it's broken up there, it's had a couple of big strong bars taken out, and he stops there. I'm guessing there may have been some, but I'm guessing there's probably going to be some stops. We've got one leg, two legs, finished about the same time, so maybe people are thinking we're having a bit of a push down. So we have tagged upside targets, have we now? So let me have a look. There's definitely, if we look back yesterday, some areas of support there. So whether that'll come up and bounce or I don't know. I'd say with a strong push up like that, it's probably likely going to come back at least to the EMA. Just wondering if there's a like a spiking channel in there anywhere. I wish I'd have held on a bit there. I sort of pretty much knew we were going up here, so trouble is sometimes you're in when you have a bit of luck, you're in disbelief that it's actually working, and you think the first sign of getting a point or two, you just want to grab it and run. But I pretty much knew we'd had maybe a leg here and another leg here. Pretty much knew we were going to push up. I seem to say, I think we're going to do this, it looks like we're going to do this, and it does, but whenever I get into a trade, I just seem to lose that confidence. But I suppose that'll come in time, won't it? Once I get a few million in these Apex accounts, I think I should get some confidence back. So we pushed in and we bounced off this top line. Now this may be a place where some people may go short, but not me. I wonder if Marco would take something like that. He picked one the other day, which I thought was a bit weird, but you got to think it very much depends as well on how many points you scalp. He tags for 1.5, so it's perfectly feasible to take a short here at the top. 1.5 isn't really a lot of movement at all, is it? It's a very small amount of movement. There you go, that's 1.5. It's nothing, is it, in the grand scheme of things? So to take that here is nothing. And I go for what, 3.5 points, which same again doesn't look like a huge move if you think about what's going on. Yeah, whether we'll push up, well, There's no stopping it, I don't think, is there? Let me see if we got anything from Mac yet. See what Mac's chart's like. Oh. Okay. Yeah, Mac's chart's got exactly the same as this. He's gone from here. In fact, I did do this a few minutes ago, if you remember rightly. So I am taking some of the. Yeah. In fact, I did draw that, if you remember. So it's not all Mac. It's not all Mac. It's greatness. Yeah, that's how he's got it exactly that. I did draw that actually, so I take some of the credit. I'm quite clever. Okay. Yeah, okay. Thanks, Mac. Get rid of you now. We had a 50% retracement of yesterday's bear bar. This is a 50%. Okay. So you're saying we may go down, yeah? We'll hold you to that, mate. Solante says we can now go south. We can now short. It's always nice to have someone to blame. We need to see some weakness. Yeah, maybe this is it. See, there's a channel here as well. There's a bigger channel, but there's a channel working here as well. And we've just had a couple of pushes out of it. Out of both this, actually, the larger one and the smaller one. Yeah, I used to use the Fibonacci retracement tool when I used to trade currency. That was based on the strategy. We'd wait for a 50% pullback and a setup. But we don't tend to use it on here. I've never heard Mac use any type of indicator really, apart from the moving average. This one here, yeah, well, he's got this one, hasn't he? He's got his drawn exactly like this, so it's bouncing off there, isn't it? He went long at 4027. Yeah. Yeah, you took that one, did you? This is steeper, is it? Well, yeah, no, it goes from here. Yeah, it goes from there to. Oh, right, yeah, of course. Let's have a look. Yeah, it does. Good point. Ah, okay, yeah. You can push that right to there, can't you? Let's have a look. Yeah, right to there. Yeah, good point. I'm glad you told me that. Good on you, mate. Okay, yeah, so we've had a break. 2 pushes up to a new high. Let's see what happens now. Let's open maybe lightly. Well, price. Sure, I usually put something up here. Yeah, I did. I put that in earlier. That was yesterday's high. Yesterday's open is here somewhere. I don't tend to look, but I never hear Max saying about looking back. But it's about there, isn't it? Somewhere just above where it is now. Yeah, it's about here, isn't it? 440 thereabouts. In fact, that comes down, doesn't it? It's actually just popped in. Well, it's questionable, isn't it? That thing. Yeah, I've gone right from there. Touch. Fits in there just about. But we have had a break. And then 2 pushes up. 1, 2, 3 pushes up. Actually, I'm going to hug that right tight to that bar there. And bring this down a touch. So you could say that has had. So we've had a little bit of an overshoot here, a breakout in, a bit of an overshoot there. So yeah, that channel has played out. So it could come down here now. It could reverse, or it could come down. See, there's the bigger channel there as well. It's had an overshoot of that. So I wouldn't go short. I'm not going short or long at the moment. To be honest, I don't know what's going on. In fact, I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break while it's doing its stuff, and I'm just going to make a quick cup of coffee, and I'll be back with you. Okay, well, it's not finished by the looks of things. So my bigger look what's going on here. Slow grind. You're not wrong, mate. Trouble is, when it's up in the air like that, I want something for it to bounce off before I think about going along. It's certainly not seemed to have given up, has it? Just wondering whether we can bring this down a bit. Not a fan of doing that, though. Thing is, it should really be off the first couple of swings, shouldn't it? Hey Toad, how you doing, mate? How are you doing? I'm not a fan of doing that, really. I should have held. Yeah, I wish I'd have held as well, mate. If I'd have held that, what would I got now? Look at that. Oh, yeah, I'd have been able to give up for the week. Look at that. Wow. 2 contracts. 3 grand. Oh, that would have been nice. That would have been nice. Just trying to think if there's any type of a smaller channel here, but just wondering whether that's a spike in a channel. I just don't like that bit sticking out. Doesn't look right to me. Let's try this. No. Nothing looks right. This is all manipulation, in my opinion. Can't trade it really, can you? Once it starts to get above here, it's a bit floating in the air, isn't it? There is a little bit of resistance here, isn't there? Might slow it down a bit. Yeah, that looks a little bit clearer. So we got this bigger channel, we said a breakout. We got this smaller channel, and honestly, God, I wish I'd have held on to that now. If you want to count, if you want to counter trend, this may be it. Yeah, I just can't do that, mate. I might have thought about that here, but look at that, it's just going up. There is some resistance, which is I marked that on there. A little bit of resistance here. Here, and obviously the opposite. Yeah, I just can't. I know Mac just says, I have him in my head saying, don't fight the market, don't go against the market, don't counter trend. And every time I have counter trend trades, I would say most of the time it doesn't work for me, so I just leave it now. I mean, to be honest with you, I've done $150, so it's not a huge amount. But to be honest with you, if that's all, you know, obviously I've got 4 counts on the go, so I can live with that one. Some days we get, you know, I had, what was it, $475 yesterday, nice and quick. Sometimes you get good days, only you get one trade, and you might get quite a few points out of it, or you get a couple, and you know. But okay, possible second entry long. I know sometimes I'm not usually a fan of going, but obviously it can go a lot further. Strong uptrends are the ones that slow grind. Yeah, you're not wrong. I've got in my head Al Brooks saying, when we get these nice, slow, quite small bar long trends, jump on any second entry long. And this to me looks like a perfect opportunity. So let's just see how this finishes. I know we're getting high, but it's nothing in the grand scheme of things.
Order submitted.
We're clearly in a trend of a sort, aren't we? Whether it's a spike in channel or something, but one leg, 2 legs, this might be a nice opportunity. Okay, one leg, another one down to here. Come on. Yeah, ATR is quite small. So ideally, if we can just break below here and end up bullish, I'll take that then. Nice. Now, another little one. Push down to here. That'll be lovely. Just break below here.
Order cancelled.
To be honest with you, I had quite a bit of trouble drawing that. It didn't make a great deal of sense to me, so I'm not massively convinced. I think I'm more drawn by the areas it's hit at the top. Just don't want to get trapped here, so we're going to try to go once. Ideally, I want it to trap to break above there and trap some shorts and then make a higher low. Because it could go higher and it could go lower, so you've got to be so careful not to get trapped. I'm starting to learn where not to get trapped, and the good way of learning not to get trapped is getting trapped. So that's happened plenty of times. What I want is a failed second entry long to trap some shorts and then running off the tops of that. How you doing? I can't believe King. You're right, bud. I just didn't find the opportunity to greet everyone. You're all right, mate. Don't you worry. We're all here for business. Oh. See if it bounces off the top of here. I just wanted to trap some shorts. Just wondering. Let me have a look. So we've had this overshoot and the same this side, so maybe... In fact, let me get rid of that. I'm not a fan of that anyway. Maybe it's going to bounce up here. If we can trap some shorts and then push strongly above the EMA, then I'm still thinking long at the moment. Oh, that's confused the matter. Get rid of that one anyway. Oh, I don't know. Doesn't make much sense, that. Let's put it back. Okay, let's have a look at this. Okay, new high. Try to go once, try to go twice. Now, see if this traps some shorts. Because it's sort of sitting on this line. See if this traps some shorts. May do, actually. Might be some... In fact, there could be one leg, could be a couple of legs back. Okay, that's a second entry long, which is triggered. Now, let's see if this traps them. Second entry long. Ideally, I'd want a higher low here. Okay. New high. Try to go once, try to go twice. Possible trap some longs, and that's quite bearish, so I prefer that to trap. So if that triggers down here and pushes up, no, it didn't trigger them shorts anyway. I was hoping it did. It would, sorry. Try to go once, try to go twice, maybe. Maybe this might be a short to trap. I don't know whether there is anything coming down there, so I'll let them maybe. Alright, maybe. Maybe. So try to go once, try to go twice. Failed. Hopefully if this triggers below and pushes above, that might create a higher low, trap some shorts. There we go. I think that's bearish enough to trap some shorts. Trigger below. Come on. I still think we're going high to break these tops personally. But I would prefer to have triggered this. I can't get into this now, just in case this is a little channel where we're going to break in a new low. So I was hoping that would tick below there, in which case I would look for a high low. It's not going to happen. Okay, maybe this is the trap. Okay, so we've got a new high. Try to go once, try to go twice. If that ticks below, and if it does, then I think that might be our momentum to go higher. But I don't think it's going to, is it? Okay, that's triggered anyway. So the failure's triggered. So let's see if this now pushes up. Remove that now. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. Check I don't get trapped myself. Okay, so we've had this channel, we've had this overshoot, which we've had on the other side as well. We've had a break and an overshoot. So it's back to the EMA. Okay, that's actually worked anyway for the shorts. So where are we coming back to? The bottom here or below it or here? It's hard to say. So this might be a couple of legs. I was aware that this could be 2 legs down. Let's see what happens. So we've had the break and it created a new high. But it could come down and work back off this channel again. We've already had the break and a new high, and we've had a bit of an overshoot as well. So just wondering whether we could do this. You're supposed to do it the first couple of retests, aren't you? So hard to say, isn't it? Touch. No, I'm going to have to put it back for now. I don't want to assume. Because it could get me into trouble. Okay, what's going on here? No. Call that top. You did. Yeah, I just try and avoid counter trend trades because they just got me into trouble. I try and avoid picking tops because they got me into trouble, or bottoms. And that goes for triple tests as well. I've just not. I mean, some people, try certain trades. Some people, they just work for others better. But it depends what you focus on. I try and avoid those. I try and just go for the second entries and the failures and high lows, lower highs. Because I tend to be okay with them. But it's funny how it's stalling back on this. That's a bit lower. At the bottom of this channel again. So we've had this break and a new high. But it's had an overshoot as well, which that can happen, can't it? You sort of have it one side and have it another side, it compensates for it. So let's see if it starts working back off here. I prefer to have the 2 legs before I consider going long again. That's a teaser. Won't be doing that. trigger above, come below, stop you out, pull down to this line here. That's what I reckon. It took 4-7 points on that one. Good on you, mate. Good on you. I think this is going to trigger and come down and stop that out and then get close to this. That's my personal prediction. If I get it right, I win a fine hamper of single malt whiskey. Yeah, I just avoid them. They just don't. I'm trying to play by the book. Now I don't begrudge you for taking them, because if I was playing by the book, I might not have took that one because it was below the EMA. But you know, we all sort of see things differently, and we all use our own judgment, don't we? And I believe you can bend the rules slightly, because I see Mac doing it all the time. And as you learn and progress and get better and better, you'll naturally know the times too. Because Mac will often say, if you're a little bit aggressive, you can take that one. You know, I mean, we all go for high probability trades, but the rule is you can take slightly more aggressive ones. But if you pretty much know where the market's going and you've calculated the risk, then there's no reason why you can't make your own choice. Now, there will ultimately be some shorts there, I dare say, taking that failure. So if this pushes above there, then I expect it to keep on higher, but I'm hoping it comes down. Maybe not. That's blown that out of the water. Bang goes my bottle of scotch, or hamper of scotch. Okay, let's get rid of that then. I don't think we need that now. Okay, so we've had that break new high. So we've had a bit of an overshoot. We've had the same here. So sometimes that's all you need. It doesn't necessarily mean we are going lower. Just checking I'm not trapped. So if we can get a higher low, which takes out that possible stops, then I'm up for a bit higher. Possible hidden second entry short. Maybe this trend is valid and that's a break in a new low. Perhaps we are going to get our line after all. Let's put it back just in case. Where was that measured move? I might get my bottle of scotch yet. Okay. That's where I thought it was going to come down to if we made this second leg. So this could just be a break and then a new low. Possible hidden second entry short. Channel break new low. I'm not going to take it because it's counter trend to me. There was some clues it wouldn't hold. We had a lower high on the 10k chart. Yeah, I've never seemed to get much value from the 10k chart. I did have it as a small, a little small chart on a separate screen for a couple of months, but it was interesting to look at it because you couldn't, you know. But I don't find it really helped me. Okay, so you could say this. That's what I thought. One leg, two legs. But after we had this channel, we pushed up. I didn't think this leg was valid, but you could say that's a hidden second entry short-term trend channel break new low. So because all this has played out, so it could be coming down. I don't think it will personally, but it could be coming down. But I would like it to come down, take out those longs, because there's probably going to be some longs, and it looks like it's going to. And I prefer to take out to hit this measured move, and if then we can hold above this, and I think we may go higher. I mean, there was an option for a second entry short there, not something I want to get into because it is counter trend. And although this has played out and it could indeed be coming down, but until it's properly valid, I'm just staying out for now. But, this could be a higher low, but I do seem to get a lot of value from these measured legs, so I would prefer it either to push right up and keep going, or come down and hit this measured leg. Now this could be a higher low, but it may tick above, and you might get trapped. because I think there's probably likely going to be some shorts there. So let's see if that ticks above it and comes back down, which I think it will. Yeah, we have. I'd say I'd like to see this measured move played out first. There's going to be some high lows. I'll be surprised if they don't push that above there, just to trap, suck in some of them longs, taking the higher low. And then if it does and comes down, that'll create a lower high for the short. So tick above. I don't think it will go straight up personally, but I've been known to be wrong before. Okay, so that's triggered. Now let's see if it does push up, or indeed it traps them. Comes back down. I'm not saying it's going to, but it's just, I'm not sure whether it will or not, which is why I can't get involved in that in any of these trades at the moment. If it breaks above there, I think you're home and dry. Okay. So it's made a matching high. So if anybody went short their arses, I'd be twitching about now. That's why I don't counter trend trade. Could have took the failure, in case you're still in it at the moment. Or you could have took the hidden second entry short, which you're still in it at the moment. You could have took the higher low, which you're in it at the moment. There could be a bunch of traps here again. If it breaks above here, I think I think that's happy hour. There we go. I'm not bothered about that now. Okay. That's the next place there's going to be some shorts. In fact, it could still be a downtrend. Could be 1, 2 pushes up, and followed by you could call this a triple test, couldn't you? Once, twice, thrice. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so you push down once, twice, 3 times. Is that the way down? Triple test. Bars naff. Obviously, this one hasn't finished yet. But it's touched it in 3 different places here. A bunch of times. Here, a couple of times. Here again. So that's 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So let's see what happens here. If it does break below and close below there. It has broken above it. If it gets above here, then I think then it may go higher then. But if it can't, maybe a triple test to go short to make the new low from this. I don't know at the moment. These are possibilities, but nothing interests me in getting it anywhere. I always confirm with the 5 minute. Yeah, a buddy of mine mentioned the 5 minute the other day. I might get it on for tomorrow actually and just pop it. In fact, I'll do it now. Just make this a bit smaller. No, I won't. I'll do it because it duplicates the trade copy, doesn't it? And I'll do it tomorrow. I'll set it up tomorrow so I've got a separate 5 minute chart. Just in case I get into a trade quick and okay, you could call that a triple test. Try to go higher, try to go once, try to go twice. So we may get a new low now. So I'm going to put my measured leg back for the 3rd time. See if that gets down here. Might not. It might be. The failure might then take it up. Failure's tempting. because it would take it above here. So tempting.
Order submitted.
Just thinking if the failure went above here, that's probably, there's going to be failed second entry long people in that trade. And then people may have gone short there thinking the triple test. So if I stick that above there, I think that might push up. If I wait for the limit order, I don't think I'll have a chance to get in there. I don't think it'll come back. Let's take the failure. In fact, I'm going to take it there. No, sod it. Triangle once, triangle twice, fair, triggers above. There's going to be some shorts in there, no doubt. Thinking about the triple test, if I'm going to take it, I've got to take it above there. But that will increase the risk. Yeah, triple test, there's going to be some shorts in there, no doubt. Any shorts that are in there will be taken out, and there's going to be some shorts there, so let's play things very safe and leave it alone.
Order cancelled.
I think it'll, once it gets above here, it'll have a good strong push up, but I'm not convinced. I would prefer, which I've said to, it hasn't triggered him, I prefer to get down here and run out this measured leg. So that's the sensible me you've just heard there. He rarely comes out, I gotta say. Sometimes you just got to play it by the book, haven't you? So it seems the triple test, it wasn't a great bar, to be honest with you, but nevertheless, it's tried it 3 times, and usually when traders try things 3 times, they just give up. So there we go. So triple test made 3-4 points, I'd say, somewhere out there. 3.5 points, maybe. Close below 4028, yeah. I'll prefer, put it this way, if it breaks below here, there'll be some higher lows trapped. And if it breaks below here, then I think this is the target. So it needs to break below here, and I think it will get a reasonable push, because I'm pretty sure there'll be some higher lows in there. Is that broken or not? I can't tell. There we go, now it has. Okay. Now I would say now we're going to make a new low. 1, 2 pushes up. So we've got a short-term trend. We've got a channel here. 1, 2. We break out. 2 pushes up. Down for a new low. I fancy a new low now, and I would feel much better if we had the second leg. If we break below there, then I think 1 leg, 2 legs, which it looks like we're going to. So I might get my case of scotch after all. Come on, below here. And then pop. Come on. Come on. Give us that pop. Okay, third time lucky. It was way more dramatic in my head. Maybe they give it an extra tick. Okay, measured leg coming up. Short-term trend channel break, new low. I prefer to come down here. Bouncy, bouncy. Now, is this a break? Followed by that measured leg? I'm not so sure. Pushed off strongly off there. Definitely some buyers there. Okay, short-term trend channel break, new low. That's regardless now. Doesn't really matter. Short-term trend now. Break. 2 pushes out, break, new low. Right, let's figure out what the bloody hell's going on here. Trouble is, when you have a lot of this in an uptrend, a general uptrend, makes things more complicated, doesn't it? Right, 2 legs up, new low. It's actually not a terrible place to take a long, I don't think. Clearly made a new low from here. Whether you call it a channel or not, looks like a channel to me. A break. I don't know. I don't know whether that works or not. There's probably a few different levels going on in there. That's played out, so let's pull that back out of the way. That's clearly played out. me just put a line back in here just so in case anything comes down to it. So what time does London market after hours close? You're 4 hours behind now, isn't it? So I think it's usually about 9:45, usually UK time. Which is 4:45 New York time, but you've gone forward an hour. I can't work it out. My head's gone blank. So if you finish at 4:45, 4:46, 4:47, 4:48, 4:49, 4:49, I think. I'm not sure. I think so. You're talking about the S&P, yeah? London market after hours close. Is that what you mean? I think that's what you mean, DJ, isn't it? Yeah, I'm not fully convinced I've got this channel right, but yeah. Yeah, I think it's 4:45 US time, Eastern Standard Time. I think it only closed for 15 minutes. It used to close for an hour, didn't it? A year and a half ago, just for maintenance. But so I think, yeah, it's 8:45, I would say. 8:45 UK time. I mean, the good thing now is if for some reason you're in a trade at that time, it won't cancel your account. It used to cancel your account. I think they changed it 4 or 5 months ago. So if you had a trade in, and I don't know, you were on a runner or something, it just closes it now, and you get whatever you've got. But yeah, they used to, if you were in a trade, it would blow your account, which was a bit frustrating. Mind you, I usually finish about an hour and a half before the general market closes. So I'm never even close. But I know a couple of people said that they've accidentally, I don't know how you accidentally leave a trade in. You're obviously not trading this sort of style, because when you close down NinjaTrader, if you've got a trade still up, it lets you know. Are you sure you want to close down NinjaTrader? You've got a position still up. So I don't know how people do it, but it has happened. Oh, it's still closed for an hour, didn't it? Okay. Okay, what do you call that? A triple test. In fact, that's probably a nicer triple test than the other one, isn't it? Let's look at that. Wow. Would that be a triple test? It's also a second entry short. For me, though, the trend's still up. So I can't count trend trade, as tempting as that is. See, that's 1, 2, 3. It's a quadruple test. Does that mean it's even safer? Who knows? What's the risk there? 2 points. Not a massive risk. You can get in on a limit order. Okay. That's more of a triple test. Wasn't a fan of that, Barcy. But if you look, there's 3 clear pushes up, isn't there? There's a bunch of smaller ones, but I don't know, for me, push up, pull back, push up. I just can't do it. So if you got on a limit order back to the EMA, you could have got a couple of points out that near on. Okay, it's clearly a range there, so let's get rid of all this stuff. Okay. Yeah, clearly you've got 3 clear tops, but market for me still up. So I think it's risky. I mean, if I was in that trade now, I'd be a bit nervous. It's not a huge bar, but that's a great opportunity to take out some shorts, that is. Still closed for now. Big boys need to clear these highs. See, there is a failure. It's a second entry short. That's a failure. Tempting to put an order above there. Very tempting. Trouble is that failure looks like it's going to get trapped. There's almost certainly going to be some short trades here. Second entry short there. Probably some there because it's clearly 3 tops. So there's going to be a lot of traders maybe thinking about the triple test. There's a failure there, so let's see if it's triggered, but looks like it might come down and stop them out. Yeah, it has. So possible second entry long. I don't know. We're trending at the moment, so maybe it's going to come back over here. Looks like it might do. So maybe that triple test worked. Second entry short triple test. That one worked and that one worked. I think that one was a clearer triple test because we've got clear pushes above there and then relatively bearish bar. Cancel your short order, wait for yeah. Yeah, it's definitely working like a range now. See what happens here. See, we've had this push in and sideways in a lot of cases that can get this, what do they call it, bear flag, push down sideways and another pop out the side. So I'm still thinking long at the moment, but I'm not prepared to take anything down here in case it does push sideways, push. So it's just going to be sitting and waiting. See, we pushed in that way, went sideways and pushed out. We've pushed down, went sideways. I think we may push down. So we may end up getting something like this. Leave that there just as a prediction. So even if it sits on here, I'm not happy about taking it. Yeah, I've got a question for you. Think back, when you blow accounts, when do you usually blow them? Do you usually blow them during the normal trading time? Or do you blow them if you decide to come back and trade later? Because I was thinking about this yesterday. And when I come back and trade, so market, I usually finish, let's say for instance, I do 3 hours, 3.5 hours. I usually finish about between 4:30 and 5:30 UK time. Now, sometimes I'll have my tea and I'll come back at maybe about 7:30 UK time and have another go. And I would say probably 85% to 90% of my losses, my blown accounts, happen in that period in the evening. And the way I figure it is, I think it's greed. You might have, well, there's two schools of thought. You've had a pretty good day and you think, I want some more of this, and you come back later. Or you think, I've had a crap day and I want it back, in which case you come back later. So just out of interest, how do you guys find? Have you blown your accounts more during normal trading hours or when you come back later? Be interesting just to find out, actually. Because they say you've got to find your trigger, and I think my trigger is part greed, part frustration, and coming back later again in the evening, in which case, if you can avoid it, you may help your case. Afternoon after 12. Yeah. It's pretty much, if I think about it, it's actually quite clear for me. I do my normal. I tend to trade for somewhere around about the 2.5 to 3.5 hours, which I think is about right. And sometimes you get the urge you want to come. I have blown most accounts from 1:30 New York's. Okay, so same again in the afternoon. Coming back later, basically, same. My two other friends, yeah. It's when you come back later, isn't it? So I think it's either greed or I want more money, and I think that's part of it with me. So if you, let's say for instance you're up $300 in a day, you might think, oh, I want some more of that. I don't want to wait till tomorrow, so I'll come back. And you've got that little bit of greed, which I think changes your thought process. Or you might be down a few $100s and you think, I want it back, so I'll come back again and have a look. I would say 90% of my disasters are done when I come back later. I'm done after 1.5 hours after market opens. Right, that's a sensible thing, I'd say. A lot of people do that, 1.5 hours. I tend to do between 2.5 to 3.5, something like. I think that's okay for me, but it's a bit different for me because I can have a chat. So that sucks up a bit of my time. So I'm not on my own, if you know what I mean. And sometimes if you're on your own, you can make decisions without people seeing. You know what I mean? And the reason most of the time it's greed. Yeah, I think it is. You don't admit it, but it is. It's true, isn't it? Don't get a trade during the first 3 hours. I keep wanting to force it. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I think that might be a good thing to implement. Certainly for me, when you're done trading on your normal trading hours, I blew my accounts when I am trading for more than 2-3 hours. Yeah. I think 3 hours is a good limit, I think. Limit it to 3 hours, maybe, and then never come back again after that, because if you come back again, it's because you get that urge to, and when you get that urge to, you want something. So I think it's, I want to earn more money, or I want to get my money back from my losing trades. If you are going to trade the afternoon, then size down. Yeah, size down, or go on a demo. Maybe, yeah, but all sensible ideas. But I think it's a good thing. That's why I like these sessions. Sometimes we can have you can get a few different views, find out. But for me, I would say 90% of I don't think I've blown an account while I've been live streaming. Let me think about this. I did one stupid trade once, but I don't think I've blown a trade in the 4 months I've been live streaming. In other words, during the normal 3 hours trading time, I'm bored enough. I'm bored and made enough for the day. Sorry, mate, am I boring you? You can just switch me off or turn me down if I am, but wrong time. I think blow things up more often when you start with a loser. Yeah, I think you're right. I gotta say, if I start with a winner, I feel in a really good place. But yeah, I know what you mean. And I find it's a lot harder emotionally then to find another trade, isn't it? So yeah. Pretty sure you used to do it. Yeah, I think I did once, didn't I? It was and I think it was part to do with losing that. Yeah, yeah, it does ring a bell. Years ago, I worked for a prop firm where the most successful traders made their money. See orders. They were taking 25 a day consistently. I wouldn't give up on the afternoon action. No. I suppose it depends on you personally, doesn't it? I mean, as me as a relatively inexperienced trader, where I'm finding the emotions are really get me. You got a little tilted a month ago. Did you not blow that account? I think I've blown one. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I've blown a couple later, but I mean live on stream, which reinforces what I just said. If I come back later, I would say 90% of mine is when I've come back either after the stream or before I started streaming, when I came back in the evening. So that says it all, doesn't it? Oh, many times I've blown after the stream. But what I mean is, what I tend to do is the market's going down, I'll go sell scrappily, get a few ticks, and then if it goes up, I'll go buy and scrappily, and I'm pushing me stop up, but I just go mad. I'm a stay-at-home dad with a 10-month. Oh, you really? Yeah. You got to, yeah, don't worry, they'll hate you shortly. I've got a 14-year-old daughter, which she hates me at the moment. Oh, you're not trading again, are you, Dad? You know, I'm a 10-year-old. Have short windows to trade between naps. Yeah, I know the feeling, mate. Been there, done that. Make bad decisions because, yeah, I know what you're saying. Possum what traded the baby. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's tough, isn't it? It is tough, mate. Mind you, what a great time. 10-month-old, you got it all to look forward to. Yeah, 10 months. Good grief. Doesn't seem 5 minutes ago since my 14-year-old daughter was 10 months. Lovely age. But yeah, it is hard. They're so hands-on, aren't they? And if, like I say, if you're home on your own, it's tough. See, I'm lucky in a way. I get to trade sort of 2:30 in the afternoon. So, but yeah, it's tough. Yeah, it is tough. Yeah, definitely got a challenge on your hands. It won't always be that tough. I'm guessing if you got 10-year-old, you're still quite young, aren't you? So you got plenty of time. Sin once live. Yeah, I did it once live. I think it was probably shortly after. It might have been the first PA or the first evaluations after I blew my main account. You know, you have a problem when you'd rather read charts than watch porn. Absolutely true. I suppose you could do it at the same time. You could have a little window open, couldn't you? Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. But yeah, it is tough, especially when you got a little babby. Yeah, absolutely. But it won't be like that forever. As soon as they can walk and talk, they can tell you to go and fuck yourself. They hate you. You'll go through all that. My 14-year-old daughter the other day just called me a twat out the blue. I said something, I was just teasing and messing around with her, and she shouted, "You twat," and walked off. Me and my wife were just looking at each other like jaws on the ground. You got that all to look forward to. It's lovely when they turn teenage years. Wow, hormones and emotions are all over the place, and don't you half cop it. Yeah. But no, yeah, I mean, usually when I finish and I've had a tough day, I'll come back or I'll trade on after. So I think the secret is trade your normal 2 to 3 hours and then bin it for the day. Do whatever you got to do. Go out, go to the gym, do something. You know, you got all that to look forward to, mate. But no, 10 months is a lovely age. Actually, it is a nice age. Yeah, it's a nice age. That is. I wish I could go back to them days. So, if you look at this first swing, second swing, look what's happened. Bounce straight off there. I did mention that it may come out because we've had this push in and it may, which is, I'm a little bit concerned about going long just at the moment. What time is it now? Let's give it another 15, 20 minutes. So we go on here. So we've actually bounced right off that nicely, right off that bottom channel. And so if that's bounced off there, then there's obviously traders with the same channel drawn. So My only slight issue is because we pushed down from this side and came in, I think it's feasible we could do the same and have a break of this channel. See what happens here, which is why I'm not thinking of going long just yet. Because this is sort of a bear flag, really, isn't it? I know we don't tend to use patterns so much, but I do swing trade a little bit of crypto from time to time, so I wouldn't be shocked if this broke out of here. I would say this is likely to break out of here. Okay, well that's bounced right on that line. Short-term trend channel break, new low. Risky, I think. I don't like the fact that it's come out a little bit. For me, I'd say it's likely to come out a little bit further than that because of this. Okay, it's quite bullish, sat nicely on there. Maybe an option to go higher, but I'm not so sure. I'm a little bit concerned. Looks like it's trying to sell. So it's coming up a little bit, having that quick push down. I can see quite a strong push down. Yeah, I did expect that breakout. Just with the way we've had this push down sideways, I expect, which is why I drew that trend channel. So this looks like it might be a I don't know whether because obviously we've there's a few channels within there. See, that's the problem. The bigger channel. This is our first break. So maybe we may go higher, but this channel here, we've had a break a new high, so it might be a push down, sideways push down. It might end up being a trend channel down, so it could be something like that coming down. It's hard to say at the moment, but I would like to see that measured leg, one leg sideways, another leg, before I think about what's going on or what I'm going to do next. I predict it's probably going to be calling it a day within the next 15 minutes, I'd say. By the time it gets down here and then figures out what it wants to do. That's where my target is. it's definitely going through a period of not a lot of setups lately, isn't it? I would say maybe the last 6 months. I'm going to say when I started nearly 2 years ago now, there seemed to be such a lot more setups. I mean, maybe 6 to 8 setups a day. People, I'm assuming a lot of it's to do with the way, the way the financial markets have been, obviously because of the it all sort of led after COVID, didn't it? Obviously governments and shoved that much money into the economies. Obviously there was government debt, and then obviously businesses suffered, and now we got high interest rates, and it's it's going to take a while, I think, to get things back to where they were. But what I will say is one positive: if you can trade markets when they're tough like this, it's that old military saying, isn't it? Train hard, fight easy. But if you can trade markets like this and learn to have the patience, to take one trade a day and sit through loads of crap, then it'll only seem easy when things eventually get back to normal. So, hey, Sam, how you doing? You always seem to manage to time it right just as we're about to finish. But just as it's you, mate, I'm going to sit here for another 15 minutes. And you're going to be forced to listen to me. Everybody else has had to suffer, so it's your turn now. Yeah, so hopefully when things eventually get back, I know the Fed have been talking about trying to get back to 2% inflation by the end of this year or the first quarter next year. So hopefully, once we get this year out of the way, check out that double bottom on the chart. Double bottom, where you're looking here. For me, mate, I'd say I'm looking at this before I even think about going along again. But just the way things are looking, by the time I go along, it's going to be up here. But this is my target. By the time I get in, by the time it bounces off here, pushes up, and comes back in. Whether it will or not, I don't know. But if you look at the bigger chart, I've drawn this off those first two swings, which is correct. It's politically correct. It's bounced here, but it has dropped out. And I think a lot of that is to do with this push down. It's a bear flag, push down, sideways, push down. So 2 legs. Once these legs are played off, then I expect it then eventually to get up to these new highs and retest these highs. If that's how I'm looking on there. But obviously we've got other channels playing up. We've got one here, which is at a break, and a new high that's played out. We've had this channel down here, which is at a break, 2 pushes up, played out, and so on and so forth. So everything's done what it's supposed to. Paul is just the same old stuff all the time. A chart that has something new and exciting. Absolutely. It just does show how sad we've become in life when we get excited, when we start seeing little candles popping up everywhere. I know. I wouldn't be shocked if there's some traders that had a section of their trading day tattooed on their arm somewhere. I wouldn't be shocked. Yeah, we do get. I got to say, there is a particular element of excitement when you open your chart in the morning, isn't there? It does look nice in a way, doesn't it? It's almost like recreating a piece of art, really, doesn't it? Okay, I would like to see this measured move played out. I'm just wondering. Nah, let's pop it back. I'm not going to play it. I'm not getting involved in this anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I just put that trend there, channel there, just as a where I predicted we'd had this. We were about here at the time. I predicted, because we've had this, I think we likely have the same. So that would be the measured leg from the top to the bottom and off the top again. It's dread for me. It depends what part of your trading journey you're in, but yeah, I got to say, sometimes I've blown an account, or I've blown a couple of accounts, and I'll throw a bit more money in and blow it again. I think I did 6 evaluations in one day. Hidden second entry you took. Oh, that one back there. Yeah. Yeah, it's not everyone's cups of tea, but I often hear people about taking. I'm just gutted after all that move. I only got a point and a half. I am Mac taking about. It's okay to take off the bottom of the EMA because I know it's obviously a lot of people have asked that question because if you look on his chart, sometimes he does. And there was a few different elements that maybe decide that. Clearly, we're in an uptrend at the moment. And we're bouncing off the. I had this drawn slightly different, but we're bouncing off here, aren't we? And so that was partly, and the part that it was only a 1.75 point risk. It was a smaller risk. So okay, that measured leg has played out to the tick. So one leg down, two legs down. So is this now where we move up? Or are we? Well, I think moving up is probably the case. Or is there something like that there? In which case, if that was a very bullish bar, I don't think it'd be a terrible trade to take because I at least now expect it to get back to the MA. But I've given up picking bottom. It was a crap bar anyway, but I've given up picking bottoms. But after we've had two legs down, we've had a break, it's the perfect place then to do what it's got to do. If we are in a bigger channel coming down, then it's probably going to get up to here. But if we've had a break, you'd expect a new high, in which case it's going to come off. It's going to move up. But where better to move from than landed on the nearest tick at the measured move? It's the perfect place to go up from, really, isn't it? The last thing you want to be doing is shorting down here. So even if you got in here, back to the EMA, you got comfortable 2 points. But what I think you've got to be aware of is there is always the possibility that this could be a down channel. So I'm going to get rid of this. I just put it there just to... So that's always a possibility. Is that a 20? It's the 21 day exponential moving average. I was calling it exponential moving average for the first year, but it's exponential moving average. Yeah, two perfect legs down, right to the nearest tick bounce. I expected that to at least get to the EMA. But we've had a break of this bigger channel, which I drew earlier off these first two swings, so I expect a new high to retest here now. I expect that, but it may not. It's always possible. No worries, mate. No worries. Yeah, 21 day. And if you look, it acts like a magnet. It's almost like your little launch post, isn't it? Where, I mean, look, I wish I'd have taken that higher low, actually. It was a good trade, that. If you didn't want to take this one, we pushed strongly above, came back, broke. That would have been a nice trade, actually. I think because I pushed my luck, I was a little bit on edge. Am I pushing my luck twice in a row? So, but yeah, it sort of acts as like a magnet. Comes back to it, goes away, comes back to it, drops, comes back to it. Trading will be really difficult without it. I know some of these indicators, people have multiple indicators, and you actually wonder really whether they serve a purpose. But this is absolutely our little lifeline, isn't it? It plays such a massive part. In fact, this is more important really than any of these trend channels or range channels or measured moves. This is so important, isn't it? Because without the rest, you can still trade off it because you can visually see these trends. And obviously this is where we ultimately take them from. But okay, that pushed up to the EMA like I thought. So now what do we do? Are we going to make a higher low and go up again? Are we going to bounce off here and come down some more? It's hard to say. I would say it is more likely to get up and retest these highs. I took the measured move. Completion long for 4 points. Oh, I say, yeah, I think it was a good place. If it had been a bit of a nicer bar, I may have been interested in that. But I think the decisions you've got to make is we've had a break of this channel, and not only have we had a break, we've had a perfect measured move, and that's always a good place to move off in a different direction. So, good for you, mate. Good for you. It's surprising. I never used to draw these measured moves that much, but they really do play a part in your decision making. Yeah, look at that. It wasn't a fantastic bar. But it might have looked a bit better on someone else's chart. But look at that, straight up. So all I'm concerned with really that it doesn't bounce off here and come down some more. In which case it would confirm that down trend. Because this channel has had a break and a new high, so it could potentially come down. But got to take in mind the bigger channel off these two swings. Bounced here, bounced here, bounced here. In fact, bring that down a fraction. Fits really nice there. So, and obviously we're clearly moving up within there. So you would think after these two pushes down, would eventually retest these highs. Let's give it another 10 minutes. Yeah, I'll tell you for now, the gorilla guy would have gone off there, that's for sure. I put money on he took that trade, and he'd have probably come in somewhere around about here. Risked maybe a point. He does that, he'll take smaller risks, and it works well for him. I like him because he goes for more points, and ultimately that's what I'm aiming for, to get maximum amount of points out the market. Likely looking to clear 4033. Yeah. Need to break an all 4025. Yeah. Yeah, because there is a possibility it may be working down. I don't think it is. I would say the odds are favoured to retest these highs, but I'm not confident enough to take a trade off it. Gotta say, some days you really feel in tune with the market, don't you? And all that means is you're thinking along the same lines as the collective. Because all we're doing really is seeing how human beings behave when these patterns arise. Which is why I thought that would come down. But the more you spend the time looking at these charts, you start to just act like the rest of everybody, noticing where things move. Do you know, the strange thing is, the way markets are, I lose more trades now than I did 12 months ago. Now, you would think it would be the other way around, wouldn't you? But I get more points now. I win way more points. But markets are tougher now, that's for sure. I don't think anybody will disagree with me there. Okay, so short-term trend channel break. I'm expecting a new high at least to here. I would prefer two legs to there, but I don't think that's a terrible place to go long. But I'm not going to do it because it is just a first entry. Although we've had a nice push up, it's sat right on the EMA, and I expect it to at least get to these highs. But three is 2.5 point risk, just in case it decides to go two legs and do a failure or a second entry long, which is why I'm not quite getting involved in that yet. Just wondering, will there be anyone short in that? yeah, we've had this break. Now you would think up new, which that wouldn't be a terrible place to go long, but I am aware that there is a possibility there's a downtrend here, and I've been caught out many times in things like this, so it makes me extra cautious. So there is a possibility we could bounce down off this because this short-term trend's at it's at a break in a new high. I still believe we're moving higher, but I'm not confident enough to trade on it. What I'd like is a second entry short, which is triggered. Now, if that happens and it pushes up, then I think then we can scrap this downtrend, I think. Interesting to see how this finishes. See how it's bounced right off there. In fact, it's touching there. If it's a little bit low there, so if I take that up so it sits right on top of that bar like that. It's right, yeah, sitting perfect, touching. It bounced off that right to the nearest tick. Now, that's not random. There's a reason for that, isn't there? So, okay, so that is a second entry short. Not the greatest bar, but if people are thinking downtrend, they might just take that. Be interesting to see if it triggers and then pushes up and stops them out. If that happens, then I'd say there I'm expecting some upward movement then. I couldn't take a higher low anyway because this trend channel actually has had a break and it's played out. Now, some people may not have this channel, so I thought it blocks that. If you haven't got this channel, you're going to see a break pushing up for a new high, aren't you? So that has triggered. So let's see what's going to happen. Okay, that's triggering a push down. Let's see if it does come down. Because there's probably going to be some longs in that. Thinking we've had a breakout, we've had a push up, and we're moving higher. See if that comes down. Or it could go up, trap some shorts. Whatever happens, it is a little bit congested there. And the way it's just bounced off that would confirm my suspicions that there are going to be people thinking this could be a downtrend. And this is why I'm just staying well alone there. We've had a higher low there, but this channel's already made a break and a new high, so I just can't get involved. But if it does get above here, then I'd say upwards is my thoughts. Okay, we'll just see this move out and then I'm going to knock it on the head for the day there, just out of interest. I'm more curious of whether it's going to come down or whether it's going to trap some shorts and push up higher. The way this is finished, I'd say if there's anyone long there, they're going to get stopped out. That's why I didn't get involved in there, even though I'm thinking, I bet there is some though. Thinking about a break and we're looking for a new high. You'd push up, break, push up, break, push up. See if this does take it out or whether it bounces. Okay, it's ticked below. Yeah, see that's why I can't get involved in there. I mean, if you don't have this channel and you see this break, you see this push up above the EMA, come back, nice big bullish bar. You would think that was the way up, wouldn't you? But that's the problem with missing stuff like this downtrend. It's just confirmed there in 3 places. It's fitting nice at the bottoms. So I would say now, unless something amazing happens, probably working down, maybe. I don't know. I mean, you can have a break. When I say a break, it might not be just this. It might be a couple of legs back and then push up. We've had sort of one leg back. We may get another. But it's not for me. So I'm going to knock it on the head there, I think. I can't see me getting involved in anything just yet. So don't forget that 80% is on for another, I think it's 6 days now. So there's my code. If you choose to use it, it's greatly appreciated. So I appreciate everyone hooking up with me. We've had a nice chat today. One trade, but that's good. It's green. I wasn't making as much money. I'm not making as much money now as I was when I first bought that PA account, but I think I've just settled down a little bit and gone a little bit slow at this time. You took the short, did you? Yeah. I think it was okay to do that. I mean, the bit that concerns me is we've had a break, which is why I'm just staying out at the moment. But depending on whether you're scalping a point or 2 points or 6 ticks or something, you'll get away with it a bit there. But it's funny how it has just literally tagged the top of that and come down strongly. So that is it for me for the day. One trade, 6 ticks, that'll do me. Actually, not a huge amount of volume today, really, is there? It's not often I can get it all on the one page. I mean, I can open that right up there. It's actually very little volume today, really. So yeah, thanks. So I am now going to put into play my new plan of never coming back and trading after I finish for the day, because it's always where I go wrong. Always. So that is it for me today. So you can see my profit there, can't you? You're welcome, mate. You're welcome. Yeah, I appreciate everyone. It's nice chatting with everyone. I always learn something, and I hope you may learn something from me. It's all about helping each other. There's gaps in all our knowledge, isn't there? And there might be some things that I've remembered or get on with better, and vice versa with you guys. So I'll mark up my chart, post it. Bravo to you, Wood. Thank you, guys. So yeah, have a great evening. Stay safe, and I will catch up with you all same time tomorrow.